Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to do today's Q&A, but I am in my car because Nash is at home taking a test and he just let me know. So I was like, well, my plans are changed, so I'm literally posted up in a parking lot right now for this Q&A, but we are gonna get it done and I am just so pumped, so let's get into it. Okay, so a lot of the questions were like, how did I get to where I'm at in my career now? Like, what got me into fitness? Like, how am I doing social media? Like, what do I do for work? Like, all of these different types of things. So I figured, and a lot about college too. So I figured I would give you like a whole synopsis of like who I am. So I was born and raised in the East Bay area in California, Walnut Creek area. Went to private Catholic school for 12 years. I went to an all-girls private Catholic high school. The boys' school was right across the street, so we did have classes with boys. But that was a great experience. And I played soccer and lacrosse. I was active my whole life. Both my sister and I were. My parents were both athletes, active my whole life. I played soccer and lacrosse. I played soccer up until 7th grade. That's when I decided to quit and then to commit to play year-round travel lacrosse. And that's kind of where my lacrosse career like took off. I was dead set, literally dead set on playing D1 lacrosse in college. That's the only thing I thought about from 7th grade to like my senior year of high school. That's literally the only thing that I lived for. And so like 4 to 6 times a year, my mom and I would be traveling back and forth to the East Coast, whether that was for tournaments, for camps, for visiting schools and everything like that. And I loved it. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life besides the fact that I wanted to play Division I lacrosse. I was an All-American athlete in high school. I was an academic All-American. I played for a NorCal elite team where we traveled all around, the East Coast and stuff like that. And it was like such an amazing experience. Met some of the best people in my life, had literally the most amazing experiences. And I settled on kind of like 3 schools, which was High Point University in North Carolina, University of Oregon, and St. Mary's College in Moraga, California. And I ended up committing to play D1 lacrosse at St. Mary's when I was 16, my junior year of high school, like beginning of my junior year. And to be honest, that was super exciting, but I definitely settled for that because I was 16. Like, I was one of the later commits on my team as well. And I felt like pressured to commit, but I was so scared. Like, I was so young. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with my life? So I was afraid to like leave home. And if you don't know where St. Mary's is, it's literally like 15 minutes, like 10-15 minutes from Walnut Creek, like where I grew up. And so that was just like a comfortable place for me. And then kind of fast forward to senior year of high school, I had a whole come to Jesus and I told my family that I wanted to decommit and I wanted to do like a regular college experience and kind of just be like a normal student because there was nothing really after lacrosse. There's no professional women's lacrosse. And I was like, if I'm going to go to college, like I want to, be able to live freely. I don't want my life taken over by a D1 sport. I want to rush. I want to do internships. Like I want to work. I want to do like that whole experience. And like luckily my parents were very supportive. So I decommitted and applied early to University of Oregon, which my sister was there at the time. And like I told you, I was also, I visited there for lacrosse. Loved the school. I got in early acceptance. Like 2 weeks later, I was accepted. So pumped. So I went there for 2 years and then I transferred to UNR, which is University of Nevada, Reno, for my last 2 years, which that is a story for another time. And then I just graduated from UNR this past May with my major in journalism with an emphasis in public relations and advertising and a minor in business administration. So that's kind of a little background of me, obviously like a very brief synopsis, but I've always been active my whole life. Always have been active my whole life. When I went to Oregon, I started working out in a gym right the first week. I literally was like first week, I still have Snapchats like saved when I look at my memories of me working out at the student rec center and everything there. And not that I knew literally anything. I would just really walk on the treadmill and do very few dumbbell movements because I just was super uneducated, but always was in a gym setting. I also worked at a gym. My first job ever was at a gym. I worked at a gym for over 4 years. And I started working since I was 17. I have been a freaking hustler. I have always needed my own source of income no matter what, even throughout school. And so working at a gym gave me like a really good look into, business management, operations side of gyms, also a little bit of the personal training side. It's so funny though, because I always was like, I would never do personal training. I would never do it. And like personal trainers would, you know, you chat with them and stuff because you work there and like, oh yeah, like, are you thinking about personal training? I'm like, no, I would never do that, because I only knew corporate personal training, which is very different than the one-on-one online personal training that I do. So that's the only type of personal training that I knew. And I was like, no, never, could never be me. Well, look where I'm at today. But kind of fast forward, the reason that I'm starting like with the career that I'm at now, and it's just so crazy when I look back and think about it, but genuinely everything happens for a reason. Like, I will put my life on that saying, like, literally everything happens for a reason. I met my coach when I worked at the Crunch Fitness here in Reno, and he, you know, was like, oh, you know, let's work together. I was like, perfect, let's do it. I was ready to, you know, I was at a low point in my mental health. I was at a low point with my physical health, really toxic relationship with my mind, with my body, kind of what I talked about with my lifestyle cutting series. And I met him, and it kind of just happened from there. I had no interest initially of becoming a personal trainer at all, but I very quickly fell in love with my journey. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is what I want to do for a career. I didn't know, you know, graduating from UNR and getting my degree in like PR and ad, my business and minor, it's very broad. Like, I could really do anything with it. But I never found a 9-to-5 corporate world life interesting to me. I was like, I don't want to do that. It's just not something I want to do. I didn't have a plan. Like, I genuinely, like, beginning of my senior year was when I met my coach, and I genuinely did not have a plan of like what I wanted to do. And that's kind of where everything just happened. Fell in love with my journey. I was like, I know this is what I'm going to do with my career, and I know I'm going to like kick some butt at it. Like, I know that I'm going to be good at this. So, full-time student, working as a nanny, like, which was a lot, and also got my NASM CPT in 6 weeks, and I busted that out. I got it. One of my biggest accomplishments, to be honest. Graduated, you know, fully and everything like that, and I kind of just started my business from there. And the social media thing, that kind of just happened too. Like, to be honest, when it comes to social media, I just started my Instagram and my TikTok. I started my TikTok last December, not this past one, but the December before. And I started my Instagram shortly before that. So I'm very new to all of this. Like, I didn't really realize like social media was going to be a thing. I just made it because I didn't want to post on my regular. And that's literally it. And it took me forever to download TikTok because I didn't find, you know, I was like, oh, the app's kind of weird. Here I am at today again. But yeah, it just kind of like took off from there. When you have a few videos that like kind of catch on and catch some traction, you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is, whoa, that's weird. Like, I just got kind of a lot of followers from that. And you just kind of keep posting. And like, my intention was never to get into social media without like, with any type of like coming out of it. I was like, oh, I don't want to like be a fitness influencer. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to do this. That wasn't my intention. Like, I really just wanted to be an online coach, and it kind of has just happened from there. All right, now let's start getting into the fun stuff. I know that was kind of like a lot. I have no idea how long this is going to be, but let's get into some questions. Okay, first of all, you guys are really wanting to know if Nash and I are going to get married and have kids. Like, that was like a lot of questions. That's kind of the road we're headed down. That's the path we're headed down. We definitely have like talked about it and stuff. He is absolutely my other half, and he is everything to me, and I literally love that man like with all of my heart. And that's kind of like the path we're headed down. You know, obviously things are amazing right now. He's the best person, the best roommate ever. Like, a huge test is obviously living with your significant other. And, you know, we moved in right after I graduated, and he's obviously still in school to be a firefighter and stuff. And he's just about to kind of get really started in his firefighting career, which is so exciting. And then I, of course, want to have kids. Like, I have wanted to be a mom for forever. I had all my baby dolls, my American Girl dolls. I was just a little girly girl when I was growing up. And I absolutely want to have a family eventually, though, like, not for a little bit, because I really want to enjoy kind of this time that Nash and I are in. It's been so fun, and we just have so many things that we want to do kind of before we take that next step. But yeah, I mean, everything is going great, and that's kind of the path that we're headed down, which is exciting. And I guess, like, I don't know, it's just crazy to think about. But yes, hopefully, fingers crossed, right, Nash? Okay, how did Nash and I meet? So it's not really that funny, but like I told you, I used to work at a gym. I started working when I was 17 back home at a Crunch Fitness, and I worked there when it first opened. So I pretty much knew like every member, and I worked there for years, like coming back home for Christmas break, for summer from Oregon. I worked there all summer and everything like that. And one day I was working out with a friend, and I saw him like walking across the gym, and I didn't recognize him. I was like, who is that? Like, he's cute. And I just said it out loud, just like randomly said it out loud. And my friend knew him from like swim team growing up and stuff. She's like, oh my God, I know him. Like, you're gonna love him. I'm gonna set you guys up. Like, you guys are gonna get married, as a joke. And I was like freshly out of just like, you know, something silly with another guy, and I was like, no, this is not like what I'm interested in. Like, I literally need a break. Like, I don't want to do boys for like a long time. And the next day he added me on Snapchat because my friend gave my Snap to him, and a few days later we hung out because I was just like, screw it, like, he seems really nice, he's really cute. A few days later we hung out, and the night that we hung out, like the first date that we had, I know the exact moment that I fell in love with him, like from the start. And we have been pretty much inseparable since then. And yeah, it's like over 3 years later, and here we are. All right, so one of you asked, how are you so confident? Tips for self-care and self-love, which I love that. I definitely am the most confident that I've been now, but I've always had a very big energy and big presence. Like, when I walk into a room, I know the energy that I bring. I talk with my hands. I'm loud. Like, that's how I've literally always been, and I'm very aware of that. When it comes to the confidence, though, that comes over time as a woman. I mean, it comes through just life experiences. It comes through bad toxic relationships with boys or girls, bad relationships with your friends, you know, kind of just going throughout the steps of life, and also college. Like, transferring schools from Oregon to UNR hardened me up a lot, like really a lot. And I kind of drew a line where I was like, I am not going to let people walk all over me. I am not going to let girls treat me like that. I'm not going to let guys treat me like that. Like, period, end of story. And it definitely, through that experience, it made me a lot, I wouldn't say like harder, I guess, but it made me a lot more self-aware. I'm like, this is what I believe, and this is what I know to be true about myself, and I'm going to stick with that because I know myself the best. And, you know, it definitely made my circle very small. And I've definitely like grown a lot from that. But even like a year ago, I wasn't as confident as I am now. So definitely, like, with time and everything like that, my biggest tip for being, you know, to show yourself love and self-care is to spend time by yourself. Spend time alone. Like, I live with Nash, and I still spend time by myself. We both do. It is so important to enjoy time with yourself. Take yourself out on dates. Take yourself on a coffee date. Go to Barnes & Noble. Buy yourself a book. Do something for yourself. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, even with if you're with somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, at the end of the day, you only have yourself. When you lay your head down on the pillow, it's just you, yourself, and literally you. And at the end of the day, you can't rely on anybody else to make you happy. And, you know, so just enjoy time being by yourself. One of the questions asked, if you weren't in the fitness space, what would you be doing? I honestly have no idea. I didn't go into college. Like, I went in undeclared. I was planning on being a business major at Oregon, and then met with somebody, and they're like, this is how many math classes you had to take. And I was like, whoop, nope, I'll just drop that to a minor. And my sister was in the journalism school, and she loved it. So I kind of just did that. And I have no idea. I didn't have like a dream job. I knew the more that I did my major, I liked it, but I did not love it. Like, I knew that it was not something I wanted to do with my career. I did not want to work at a PR firm. I didn't want to work, you know, any type of advertising agency. Anything like that was not an interest to me. Although my major and my minor go so well with what I do now, I have no idea. Like, I really just kind of like didn't have a plan, and it all just kind of happened my senior year. Obviously, I would have probably created a plan if I needed to, but I knew beginning of my senior year that I wanted to get my CPT and do this as a career. And so I decided that pretty early on my senior year, like October, got my, no, it was probably like September. I got my CPT in November, and I was like, boom, boom. Like, that was kind of it. So I have no idea, but I just believe that everything happens for a reason. Like, whatever you're supposed to do, you're gonna end up in, you know, that place. A lot of questions were like, how do I edit my TikToks? How do I edit my videos? Like, you guys really like my aesthetic and stuff. My TikToks, I just edit it in the app. It took me a while to get down like the cutting, the timing of songs and all of that different stuff, but the more that you do it, the better that you get at it. And so it took me some time, but now I feel very comfortable like filming on TikTok, editing it really quickly. Like, I'm able to kind of edit and post and film a TikTok pretty quickly, but I do all of that in TikTok. I am not that extra to do it like as an outside app or anything like that. When it comes to my videos for my Instagram, I switch back and forth between this camera that I'm on right now, the Sony ZV-E10, and also just my phone. I will do a video and I will drop if you click, there's like a little sun, and if you just drop that down, it lowers the exposure so it makes it look like it's a camera. And if you have like a newer iPhone, like this is an 11 Pro Max, I got it like 2 years ago, and it works great for filming and stuff like that. So if you want higher quality videos, then yes, a camera would be better, but honestly, iPhones sometimes take better videos than my camera videos turn out to be. One question is, what is one thing you wish you knew before starting social media? Honestly, I wish that I had a better plan going into it and being able to find time to put social media to the side, because sometimes I get so wrapped up in social media where I feel like I have to post instead of it being something that I want to do. And honestly, social media is a grind. Yes, I don't have a 9 to 5, but I literally work 24/7, especially with online coaching and stuff. Like, I am available for my clients all the time. And I am constantly thinking about content all the time, like literally all the time. And I know there's like a huge kick to be like an influencer, I guess, which I wouldn't even group myself in with that. I don't know. I just never thought of myself doing this, to be honest. It kind of just happened, which is great. Like, I love watching Get Ready With Me's, like, show me your skincare routine, show me your hair care routine, like, what do you do in the morning? I love those videos, and I want everybody to feel like they can do it and post it, but it's a grind. It is a freaking grind. You don't make anything from TikTok. That's just extra pocket money for like the creator fund. You really make money through brand deals. That's how you make like pretty much all of your money with social media and influencing and stuff like that. And it takes a while to get to that point to where you can make brand deals at like a really good amount to where it's like, I can actually make this a living. It takes a long time to get to that point, and it is a grind. It's a nonstop 24/7 grind, and I'm totally not trying to scare you off. I'm just trying to be real about it, because a lot of people are kind of not romanticizing it or fantasizing it. I don't even know the right word, but a lot of people are like, oh, it's just like all you do is this. And I'm like, I wish it was that easy, you know? And so it's a give and take a lot. And honestly, I am just getting into the social media side of things. Like, I really feel like I am bottom of the food chain with the social media, because I'm like, this is so new. Like, people have been doing this for so long, and it definitely is a whole different monster, really. But it is outside of all of that, it is literally the best thing. It's my favorite thing. I love sharing with you guys my life. I love being able to post like all of these different things, and I really feel like I was meant to do this. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. Like, I kind of just fell into it, and it's kind of just happened, but I feel like I'm only just getting started in the social media side of things. A lot of you guys wanted to know my biggest pet peeve, which is so funny. I have two. One, being late. I hate being late. I hate when people are late. Early is on time. On time is late. Period. End of story. That's how I've always been. Like, for practice, if I was ever going to be late for lacrosse practice, I would be having a literal panic attack in the car. I am not one to show up on time. I'm not one to show up late. I am one to show up early. My second pet peeve would just be like, if people don't have like basic manners. And I know people grow up in like, they're raised differently and everything like that, but just like when somebody holds a door open for you, you say thank you. You hold the door open for somebody if you see them walking out. If they're behind you, your pleases and thank yous, like saying hello to the cashier, like all of these different things, just basic manners and just like being just a nice human. That's probably like when people don't have that, that's a big pet peeve of mine. There were a few long distance questions, like how to keep the spark alive, how do you do long distance and everything like that. You know, over time, obviously, like, you know, you go through your honeymoon phase and stuff like that, but you still like find time for each other, especially when it's long distance. You have to understand how they communicate and also how they comprehend your communication, because communication and comprehension are two completely different things. And that's a huge learning lesson that I learned with Nash, was that the way that I communicate with him, or used to communicate with him, was how I would be able to comprehend what I'm saying, if that kind of makes sense. So I had to change the way that I communicated with him for him to understand it in his own way. And it doesn't mean that like he doesn't understand anything and he's less than or whatever. It's just that like everybody encodes and decodes messages differently, and he did not, like, sometimes I just wouldn't register what I'm saying to him, or all of these different things. So make sure that like your partner actually comprehends and understands what you say to them. And especially with long distance, I mean, communication is literally everything. Communication, trust, and respect, obviously. And communication is absolutely everything. Like, you have to make sure that like you guys both understand the way that each other, like one another, communicates and everything, and how to keep the spark alive, especially in long distance. Nash and I love to do this, but we would meet once a week on FaceTime for sure. Like, we would FaceTime all the time, but we would have like a once a week date night FaceTime where we would both grab food and we would like FaceTime each other. I post them up on my laptop and we would just eat together and chat and everything like that. And that was so fun. And doing little things like that, you know, planning out visits if you can. Obviously, like, it's a huge finance, you know, an expense to have to visit somebody, but if you could do surprise visits, if you can plan out at least one trip together, you know, then you can kind of set a date to like look forward to and everything like that. All of those little things really just add up. And so yeah, long distance. Nash and I started out long distance. For those of you guys who don't know, we started dating. We met back in the Bay, and then I was still going to University of Oregon, and I was like, I'm leaving in 5 days to go back up to school. So do you want to do this? And he was like, yeah, sure. So yeah, that would be like my biggest pieces of advice for long distance. One of the questions was trying to balance college and gym time harm. And you know what? You guys only know like relationship self, but you don't know like single toxic self. Like, I wasn't toxic, but I partied my butt off at Oregon. Like, the 2 years that I was there, and I was in a sorority, like Wednesday through Sunday, nonstop drinking, nonstop partying. Like, I had so much fun when I was there for most of the time. And man, like, I know what so many of you guys go through when it comes to trying to find that balance with gym time, like health and fitness, and also school. And you kind of just do. My biggest thing was I always went to the gym anywhere from 6 to 8 a.m. Literally always. I was a morning gym person only. That is the only time that I made it to the gym, because I was so exhausted by noon. I was like, there's no way I'm making it to the gym. It was too crowded. So go in the morning. Wake your butt up and go in the morning. Like, I promise you, not only do you have more energy throughout the day, you get your metabolism started early, but you just feel so much better, and like, you get to check that off your list. So definitely fit your gym time in the morning. It is so worth it. And you kind of just do, unless if you have like specific crazy goals. Like, you know, I always wanted to change a little bit about my physique. I'm like, oh, I want to look this way. That's when I just was super uneducated and had no idea what I was doing at the gym. But I just kind of went because I really wanted to stay in good shape. Like, I had to do something that was active, because like I told you, I was active my whole life. I needed something to like continue to do. So you just kind of do find that balance, and you find the time to study, you find the time to put in your homework time, you know, you find the time to go out, and you just have fun. College is such a short period of time. Like, I can't believe I'm literally never going to college again. Like, I cannot believe that I graduated, and it is so fun. Like, do not skip out on going on weekend benders and, you know, going out of town, going on date dashes. Like, do it all, and do it hard, and have fun. Be safe, obviously. Do not drink if you're underage, but definitely have your fun. Like, it's just such a fun time, and it's literally only 4 years. And that's it. I mean, you know, obviously if you're going to grad school, it's different, but those undergrad years, party your butt off, have fun, be safe, and you just find that balance. Like, you just do. You have your entire life to be able to, you know, really tone in on your physique goals and everything like that, if that's something that you're interested in. But honestly, my biggest piece of advice is have fun. Find the balance when you can. Make sure you're showing up for yourself still, but don't feel that pressure to be the perfect it girl, because you just can't. Not that you can't be in college, but it's just really hard. And like, yeah, go out, have fun, and do your thing, girl. All-time favorite show or movie? Okay, so I really like Spotlight. I really like that movie. Like, obviously, love The Hangover, love Bridesmaids. Like, those are really funny movies. Anchorman, all of those ones. But I could rewatch Spotlight over and over and over. And if you haven't seen it, you have to. But I think that it hit me because, like I said, went to private Catholic school for 12 years. So seeing that, it hit a little bit different because I grew up Catholic. And I still, consider myself a Catholic as well. Like, that's always what I will say. I'm not practicing right now. I would say I'm definitely more spiritual than I am religious, but that is like one of my all-time favorite movies that I could watch over and over and over. Like, that is such a good movie. My favorite cheat meal is Chick-fil-A. So basic, but every single time, grilled chicken sandwich with no pickles or no lettuce or tomato. I know, don't talk about it, but it is so good. Like, Chick-fil-A, I want to drink the sauce. It is delicious. Their little chicken nuggets, like, it is chef's kiss. How do you deal with negative comments? They hurt. I read them all and they make me sad, honestly. Like, genuinely, like, I read everything. I do have a lot of filters. Like, I love how TikTok is able to have those filters and stuff. So I filtered a lot of things out. And anytime somebody tries to leave a negative comment, I just block them. And it just is like, okay, that's it. That's done. But not that I get them all the time, but I do still. And they hurt, man. Like, I'm a person. I'm a human being. Like, what else do you expect? Like, you know what I mean? And, like, so that's why, like, people just, it's a whole different beast social media is now. And it will never, like, I can never fathom somebody going out of their way and leaving a mean comment, like, putting that hate out there. I don't think it doesn't register to me. I don't understand why people do that, but it kind of is what it is. And I just deal with it. Like, I get sad about it. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Like, it's just literally one person in this giant universe. Like, I have my support system, like the people who leave nice comments every day, who support me, who encourage me, who like my stuff, who, DM me. Like, you guys are the ones that literally, those are the people that I wake up for every day and show up for. And I love you all. So yeah, you kind of just do, but they definitely sting and they definitely hurt. And, I'm a human being. Tips to keep positive and not compare your life, body image, relationships to friends and others. You're human. You're going to do that anyways. Like, it is completely human nature to compare yourself to somebody else. But my biggest piece of advice is, if you're ever feeling like you are comparing yourself, get a piece of paper or get out your notes in your phone and write down 10 things that you love about yourself. That literally has helped me so much. I used to compare, over quarantine, like, so bad. Everything, my entire life was a comparison. I literally compared every single minute detail of my body, my, like, appearance, of my personality, of my relationship, of my family, of money, of financials, of literally everything to other people. And it ate me alive. Like, literally, that was the worst mentally I had ever been in my life. And I started, once I got out of that rut, it really came with just writing down stuff that I loved about myself. And it's so awkward at first, but I promise it will help you so much in the long run, because you'll realize that you do have a lot of good about yourself that other people don't have. Like, you have these things that special that you love about yourself, and you can't compare that to anybody else. All right, we are finished up with the Q&A. That was so fun, even though it was in my car, in a random parking lot. But that was so much fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys kind of know me a little bit better, where I'm from, who I am, where I'm at today with my life, and why I'm doing this and everything like that. I love sharing myself and my life with you guys, and I just appreciate you all and love you all so much. Thank you to everybody who asked me a question. I hope that I got them mostly all answered for you. I wish I could answer every single one of them, but I love you guys. I hope you have the best morning, day, afternoon, evening, and night, and I will see you soon.